Hi, my name is Jackson Hogan, here to talk to you in this segment about a couple of numbers that you should know when you go shopping for a boot. One of those numbers isn't your boot size. You may think the most helpful number you might be able to give someone who's about to fit you in a ski boot is, hey, I'm a size 8 or I'm a size 9.5. This bit of trenchant advice that you're giving the boot fitter is, however, not so terribly helpful, because boots don't reason in American sizes. They don't break on the same increments. Instead, they break every centimeter and give the size as a metric measurement. And it's important, therefore, that the foot be measured on the same scale. And that's the best way to match your foot length up to the boot. But the boot doesn't just care about your foot's length. It cares about other things about your foot, both statically and dynamically. Statically, it cares about what last is going to be best for your foot shape. Roughly considered, this correlates to the width of your forefoot, or how wide or fat, if you will, your forefoot is. This area up here in the boot. And that area is going to be given a measurement that's usually going to be 97 or 98 millimeters in a narrow boot, 100 millimeters as indicated on this boot, which would be roughly a medium-sized width, or 102 or even 104 or, God forbid, 106, which is enormous in a ski boot, would be the forefoot width for a very high volume foot. So that's one number it's helpful for you to know is, am I a 98 last or a narrow last? Am I a medium last or roughly a 100? Or am I going to be a wider last, a 102 or a 104? The next number that's useful to know, it really relates more to the dynamic properties of the boot, and that is the flex index. The flex index is the common way that marketers use to differentiate the various models in their line. The highest number will always be the stiffest flex, the most expensive boot, and the one at the top of its respective family. The thing to remember about all flex indices is that they are lies. Beautiful lies, perhaps, but lies nonetheless. They, unlike the millimeter measurement in the forefoot, which can be fudged itself, but nonetheless a millimeter is always a millimeter, a flex index number is simply a way for the manufacturer to say, this is my top model, this is my next model down, and so forth, with 130 being the sort of top recreational flex. I say that because there are some racing flexes that are above that, but we just reserve that for those special cases that are going to use a boot just for that purpose. So 130 is sort of the maximum flex you're going to have in any given family, and that moves down in a scale of 5 or 10 point increments until you get down into the low 60s, which is roughly the netherworld for adult skiers. So flex index for the dynamic properties of the boot, where the higher the number, the stiffer the flex, the lower the number, the softer the flex, and the forefoot measurement given in millimeters are the two numbers that it's helpful for you to know. But caution! Not only flex indices can be misleading, but forefoot widths can also be misleading. Ultimately, the only way to know whether a boot is right for you is you have to put it on. This is not something you can shop for long distance. This is not something where you can know a priori how the boot is going to fit. The only way to know if the shoe fits is if you put it on, and you put it on with the guidance of a trained boot fitter, because often people will reject the correct size boot if they don't have someone there to coach them into how it's supposed to feel when they first put it on. And that's something we'll be discussing in another one of our Real Skiers Savvy Shopper tips.